Good evening, y'all. We're putting in a little late time in the shop this evening. I got a little southeast Oklahoma blackberries, kind of cinnamon color. Gonna do a little video on showing y'all how to skin the feet out on this bear, and then again we're gonna transition to kind of a part two, also on how to skin the bear's head out for taxidermy purposes as well. So y'all stick around. Hope we can educate you. All right, we've got a small bear sitting here. Here's his head. Like I said, he's kind of cinnamon colored a little bit. Southeast, excuse me, southeast Oklahoma bear. Front foot right here. I'm gonna show you how to skin these out the way we do it for rugging these bears. So if you want to put them down for a rug, scalpels. You need good scalpels. Ain't extra blades. Run through these things like crazy. So first thing I always do is you'll find the back of the pad here. They stop this one about 2 inches up. I run in at the bottom of the pad right here, and I cut up to where they stopped their cut. It's going to give you a little bit of playroom to get around that pad a little bit. They cut this one off right at the ankle, so it's actually a pretty good job right there. And then it's just a slow go. Don't ever get in a hurry doing these. You'll get hung up on these ligaments. But you want to take your time, and you're just going to work around that foot bone. Keep in mind, there's a bunch of people out there that's been doing this a lot longer than I have. Everybody's kind of sort of got their own way of doing it. Just like crappie fishing, deer hunting, anything outdoors really. It's all how you learn, what you get comfortable with. The big deal is just being consistent with what you do and getting a system that works for you, that you can be efficient with and turn out a good product. Now, like I said, on this particular bear, we're going to skin his feet out like you would to rug him. So you always cut the pads off of the feet for the rugs. The only thing you're going to leave on here is the toes. So what I typically do, I'll put that scalpel aside, take you a pair of utility scissors, and where I've already split that open, I run those scissors right up through the center of the pad. Get it split with them scissors enough that you can come in with your scalpel and work it down to the bone. You can use your scalpel to make that cut. Those pads are really, really thick, and they'll dull your knife in a heartbeat. Then I'll pull up and I'll separate that pad from the fat of the foot about 1 inch in. I'll go back to my scissors, and then I'll cut that pad out. Short little snips is all it takes. You don't want to get too big of a bite, and then you'll end up cutting the hair towards the bottom of the toes, and you don't want to do that, because then if the customer doesn't want to rug it, then you're left with a weird looking barefoot. Worst case scenario, you got to go in and fix it. And it's just a back and forth all the way down to the edge. You can use a good hunting knife to do this. These scalpels are so much sharper and just a lot easier for my hands to work with. I would say probably 98% of the bears that I get in here in the shop, this is the 4th one so far this year, and we're still early into October. We cut the pads off of the feet to rug these bears. And of course, all these will be soft tanned. Some people call it a garment tan, just kind of depends on what part of the country you're from. There's your pad off the foot down to your toes, and then it's just a matter of turning this foot over and working your way down to the last knuckle on the toe. And if you don't know and hadn't messed with these old bears, it doesn't matter how big, how small, these have got to be some of the greasiest suckers they ever was. Especially when we get down to fleshing this thing. I still do it on a fleshing beam with a fleshing knife to get that rough flesh on it. For me, it just seems to go a lot quicker. But everybody's kind of sort of got their own way of doing things. One thing, once you get to the top of the foot and you start to see those knuckle bones, always check yourself. That bear's always got what I call 2 high toes, which is these back here. You're going to get to those a lot sooner than you will the low toes on there. So you've got to watch yourself, because if you go down too far, you're going to end up taking the hide off down to the top of that claw. And you do not want to do that. You run a higher risk of that hair slipping right there in that area. Now I got these skinned down just like I want, where I can spread them out. And you can see these knuckle joints. See where that one's opened up right there? I'll take that scalpel and just kind of turn it sideways in there. It cuts that ligament right there across the top, and you can pop that joint and get it open. And then take a pair of, I call them electrical dikes, some people call them side cutters. I mean, I'm sure they got a million different names. And I get in there and grab that toe, that knuckle, pop it a couple times, and then this is a skinning knife I use on all my small fur bears. Run it through that joint and just pop it loose. You'll do this process exactly the same on all 4 feet, whether it's the back foot, front foot. It's not going to matter. All works the same. Just a matter of taking your time, keeping your digits out of the way while you're doing it. I guarantee you one thing. Getting the cooties from a bear, mainly trichinosis, is probably the highest risk you run. You can get it from undercooked meat real bad. but you don't want to make a trip to the emergency room, because there ain't no other way to say except that just sucks. Some of them ligaments will be sticking out here. I just take these dikes and I don't necessarily cut them off. I crimp them to the point where I can grab them and pull them and shorten them up. That way as this thing's drying and going through the tumbler, they don't draw up on you as bad. That is a skinned out barefoot, ready to be rugged. I leave these knuckles in there. Sometimes if they get to be a little long during the finished product, fire up a bench grinder, slap them up there against it, buzz them off to a nub right down here to the, you can go to the next knuckle. I like leaving it on there. That way if we close that foot back up like a normal walking position, or you rug them, it gives the foot a little more rigidity, easier to hang on to. But that's a quick and simple way to skin out a barefoot. Usually it takes about 6 to 10 minutes depending on how big the foot is. Y'all have to excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat. But that's how you get her done. And then that right there goes in the trash. That'll end up being turtle and fish food in the pond probably tomorrow afternoon. That's how you get her done. So hope y'all enjoyed that. And even if you didn't enjoy it, I hope you at least learned something from it. We're going to knock these other 3 feet out and get this booger fleshed up this evening, and hopefully here in about 3 months have a satisfied customer. Y'all stick around. Part 2 is going to be how to skin out that booger's head for taxidermy. Well, 32 minutes later, we got all 4 of them bare feet done, ready to go. I'm gonna turn this around here so you can take a good look at it here. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. These are 2 back feet. Here's the front feet. They're all good and done. Everything's set to go. Fixing to start you up on part 2, which you'll have to look back around and come back at us for that one. I can't give you more than one in one video. That just ain't right. You know, I gotta keep coming back for more. But hope y'all learned something from that. If you got any comments, questions, shoot me a message, text me, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, here on the YouTube channel. Hit the little bell dingy button. And as always, y'all keep living your best, God led, redneck life.